In this video, I'm going to compare the flavors of Coca-Cola from different parts of North America. Coke from the US, Canada, and Mexico. Mexican Coca-Cola has become a popular item outside of Mexico because, unlike the others, it's made with cane sugar and has a slightly different flavor. But first, here's a little bit of history on Coca-Cola. The world's first Coca-Cola was served on May 8, 1886 at Jacob's Pharmacy in Atlanta, Georgia. It was the creation of Dr. John Pemberton as a tonic for common ailments. He likely had no idea what was in store for his product, the company, and an industry that would grow into the giant it is today. You can still get a Coke made the old-fashioned way at the Lexington Candy Shop in New York. They hand-mix a sweetened version of the syrup and use a chopping action with a spoon to mix it as you watch. They also make egg creams and other old-school New York treats. Coca-Cola is bottled and distributed all over the world, but all of the Coke syrup is made in Georgia and shipped worldwide to be combined with local water, a sweetener, and carbonation. Cocaine used to be present in the original formulation of the drink, but in 1929, Coca-Cola started using completely cocaine-free coca leaf extract, which provides the flavor of the plant without any trace of the drug. Let's do a taste test. We have Coca-Cola from the United States, Canada, and Mexico. This is the cane sugar Coca-Cola, specialty Coca-Cola. This is the Canadian Coca-Cola. This is American Coca-Cola. You can see how they all pretty much foam the same. Start with the US. So, initial taste, I get sweet, I get a bit of a vanilla. It's not very acidic, not very tart, a little bit of a citrusy flavor. Mouthfeel, a bit viscous. Carbonation, it's not really burning or biting my mouth very much. Just tastes like a little weak Coke aftertaste. I'm gonna rinse my palate. Sufficiently rinsed. Now, let's try the Canadian one. Initial taste, I get more of a tart or sour at the beginning than the American Coke. I think the American Coke tastes a little sweeter than the Canadian Coke. More of a bite in the back of the tongue. Don't think I'm quite getting the citrusy flavors I got from the US Coke. Aftertaste goes away pretty quickly. Now, on to Mexico. This is the one that's made with the cane sugar. Initial taste, a similar acid level to the Canadian Coke. I'd say it's less sweet than the other two a little bit, but just has a little bit of a brown sugary kind of flavor. So you might expect that with cane sugar. A little bit of citrus, and I'm gonna see if there's any aftertaste worth noting. Not really, they all kind of settle down quickly, but they're all very, very similar. I think the Canadian and American Coke are almost identical. They're very similar. The notable one that's slightly different is the specialty Coke from Mexico. However, there is also a fourth Coke. Wow. And in order to find that, we have to go to Mexico. So let's go. We're in Mexico, and we actually bought a Coca-Cola in Mexico. When I looked at the ingredients, even though they're written in Spanish, it appears to have high fructose corn sugar in it. Not like the quote Mexican Coke that you buy at home. You think it's a specialty product. I'm gonna do a little taste test right now. A little less tart than the Canadian version, but it doesn't have the slightly cane sugary taste of the specialty Mexican product. It might be virtually identical to the Canadian local Coke because I don't have one beside me here to try it, but it doesn't taste like Mexican Coke. And yet I'm in Mexico with a Mexican Coke. Go figure. Now let's look at the ingredients side by side. This chart was compiled directly from the product labels on the ones I tasted. A quick scan of the chart indicates that all 4 products have the same 6 ingredients. The sugar seems to be the ingredient that varies the most, and my research leads me to believe that this is a function of the available sweeteners by location. The interest in the specialty Mexican Coke is due to its use of cane sugar, and it's called for in many food recipes for its slightly different flavor. For me, the biggest surprise in researching this topic was that Mexican Coke, as we know it in most places other than Mexico, is really a specialty product made the old way with cane sugar. But the bulk of what the actual Mexican domestic consumer of the product gets is basically the same as the rest of North America, using corn syrup, glucose and fructose, and the generic word sugar. I put some additional information and links in the description below. Hopefully you found this video interesting and will give it a like. There's also a longer, more detailed version of this video on my YouTube channel. Please give it a watch if you're interested. Also, please subscribe to my channel. Every new subscriber really helps a lot. Thanks.